Hello and welcome to this quick introduction to Inobiz development system, usually just called DS by our customers, and mappings. We'll start by showing a simple mapping in operation and some basic features of DS. A mapping is simply an automated transformation of data from one shape to another. Classically, it would be from one format to another, but it encompasses so much more, as we'll see in later videos. DS is our tool to help you create these mappings, to organize them, and even more importantly, test them for correct operation. It has evolved over the last 25 years to add abilities while keeping the simple graphical mapping philosophy it started with. Now let's introduce our simple mapping. If we look in the lower left, we see the source data for our mapping. This is the data we want to transform or map to another format. This is in a text format, and in mapping terminology is often called a flat file. Each line consists of an identifier for the line type, followed by data for that line. The first thing our mapping will do is to parse that file, and to do that we need a mapping structure. If we look up, we see our source tree on the left part of the main area of DS. We won't go into the details now of that section, but we can see that we have a hierarchy of data with header information, multiple category sections, and each containing a description and line items. We'll run the mapping by pressing the play button in the toolbar. The first thing we see is that the source data pane has changed and now shows a view of the parsed data. Again, we won't go into details of what we see here, but you can see that the text file that we saw before has been read in, and the different pieces have been stored in strings in our data tree. I want to show a few more things. In the lower right, we have the target data pane. This shows the map data from the mappings. As you can see, the actual contents of the data are still there, but it's enclosed in nicely structured XML. In the upper right, we see the target tree of the mapping. And we can also see the map links in orange. These are references to where the data for each part of the XML comes from the left. We will spend a lot more time on map links and how we can do a lot more than simply copy data from one place to another in later videos. Lastly, I wanted to introduce you to the source code pane. All the mapping information that we have in the main part of the window is used by DS to generate EDIC code. That's a C-based scripting language with alterations to make it more intuitive and data structure based. We'll also spend a lot more time on EDIC in future videos, but right now I just wanted to note that it exists, and this is what every mapping actually runs as. In our next video, we'll go on a guided tour of the different parts of DS, and then the one after that, we'll start making a new mapping from scratch. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you catch us on the next one.